जी नाज़रीन, वेलकम बैक। हम बात कर रहे थे कौंसल जनरल ऑफ रशिया जो कि कराची में तैनात हैं, मिस्टर एंड्रे फेडरोव साहब, जो कि इस वक्त हमारे साथ मौजूद है। बहुत दिलचस्प गुफ्तगू का सिलसिला इस वक्त जारी है। उन्होंने अपने बारे में बताया 8 साल से वो कराची में जो है वो हैं। अगर टेन्योर की ओवरऑल टेन्योर की बात करें तो 8 ईयर्स उनको कराची में और पाकिस्तान में जो है वो चुके मुख्तलिफ जो है पोजीशन पे रहे और अभी कौंसल जनरल ऑफ रशिया कराची में इस वक्त तैनात हैं। उनको फूड कराची का बहुत अच्छा लगता है, मगर उनका ये कहना है कि पाकिस्तान का खाना बहुत अच्छा है, बिरयानी उनको बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी लगती है, मगर स्पाइसी चीजें उनको जो है वो नहीं पसंद, मगर खाने के बाद उनको कुल्फी खाना जो है वो बहुत अच्छा लगता है। बहुत अच्छी दिलचस्प गुफ्तगू का सिलसिला इस वक्त जारी है। और अब हम बात अगर करें तो पाकिस्तान और रशिया के दरमियान जो डिप्लोमेसी है, डिप्लोमेटिक सूरत हाल है, स्ट्रेटेजिक सूरत हाल, उसके ऊपर हम अब बात करेंगे। हमारे साथ इस वक्त मौजूद हैं कौंसल जनरल ऑफ रशिया मिस्टर एंड्रे फेडरोव साहब। एंड्रे साहब, फरमा दीजिएगा कि जैसे कि रशिया एंड पाकिस्तान हैव had a complex diplomatic history. How do you describe the evolution of this relationship in recent years?
So the history of our diplomatic relations started more than 75 years ago, when Soviet Union was one of the first countries which recognized Pakistan as a sovereign state. So we had ups and downs. We have different periods in our diplomatic relations, but our leaders should be a very nice example of wisdom, because even in the moment of when relations were down, we kept relations, we continue economic cooperation. In not an easy time of Afghan war, we continue erecting the steel mill in Karachi, so we didn't break any cooperation during in the time of quarrels and disputes on some issues. So now, unfortunately, the situation is not, in the world, but our relations are progressing very, very fast, and we have a period when we can reach a very bright future in our relations. So we are going up every day, as I previously said, and every day we reach some success in our relations. So I'm praying for this tendency to be continued, and every day we will have some fruitful results on that.
Inshallah. Mr. Henry, do you see Pakistan as a key role of South Asia policy, especially in the context of changing global alliances?
Pakistan is a very important country in the region. It affects many other countries' policy, because Pakistan is the gate to the Middle Asian countries, to the new former Soviet republics became new countries in Asia. So this is the gate. They don't have access to the sea. And Pakistani's ports, Gwadar in Balochistan, Port Karachi, Port Qasim and Sindh, are very important for these trade routes. So we are working with our colleagues from these countries, with colleagues from Afghanistan, and of course with Pakistani government, to create new ways, new routes for trade and cooperation. So allow me not to specify what we are working on, but I see the future will be very okay.
Inshallah. That's a good. Mr. Henry, many observers believe that the Pakistan is gradually moving from the American sapphire of influence and looking forward towards the new partners like Russia and China. How do you see that?
It's difficult to say that, but I know that Pakistani government demonstrated a strict will and wish to have good relations with any country. They always sending some signals to the partners. We really appreciate the Pakistani government foreign policy towards Russia. It is very well balanced and very smart. Pakistani government never followed these Western demands.
Moscow sees this
Moscow, I mean,
an opportunity to enter the footprints in South Asia. Does Moscow sees this opportunity?
Moscow see any opportunity to have good relations with any country and to have trade cooperation with every country. So, we are not against anyone. We are for positive cooperation. The other thing that some countries do not want to have good relations with us. This their choice, and this is their ideas of how they want to live. But when the government of any country demonstrates goodwill, so we really welcome this goodwill, and we immediately start establishing these cooperation ties and good relations. So I always say, to dance tango, you need two persons. You cannot dance at once. And if we see these positive signals, we immediately offer our hands and offer our friendship and offer cooperation. So we see that hand from Pakistan. So we're very glad to shake it and to start working.
That's great. That's great. Let's talk about the trading, from the gas pipeline trade corridors, and lots of MOUs have signed between Russia and Pakistan. But the procedure remains very slow. How do you see that?
Of course, we have some difficulties. Bureaucracy everywhere is an awful thing, but we should respect some procedures which Pakistani business and Russian business should go through. Of course, I want it to be more fast, more. But sometimes if you make every day 10 steps, but every day, it is much better than you jump for 50 steps and then you stop and paralyzed. Every day we're making some steps, and we will reach the results. And I'm not worried, because every day we're making these steps. So that is why I don't have doubts that we will reach the goals we want to reach.
And how do you expect the business trade between Pakistan and Russia remain slow? How
it is growing. It is growing. In past, I think 3 years, we duplicated the volume of our trade. So these are very good results. It is not very high, the volume is not very high, but we duplicated it, and we have some plans to multiplicate it in future. So that means work is going on. The things, yeah.
Have you ever any plans, Mr. President of Russia has any plans to visit America?
It is difficult to answer your question, because what my president have in his mind, only he knows very well. The same thing is about Americans. I'm sure that one day there will be a meeting. It will be exchange of visits, or they firstly choose one country really neutral, I should underline, really neutral, and use this territory to meet for the second time, because they already met when Trump was the president previously. So they will use this territory for first meeting, and then they agree to exchange the visits. I'm sure that will happen in the nearest future. But when, where, how, I don't know. Don't touch me, I don't know.
Mr. Andre, as we've seen Pakistan and Russia diplomacy for so many years, and how do you take this as a visa and differentiate between the people about Russian culture and people visit Russia? As we ever visa policies, or mainly here in Karachi, as you ever any visa policies like lighter on the policies?
You see, every day when I receive statistics from my visa section, I understand that there are more and more visas being printed in my consulate. So we issue more and more visas. So that means Pakistanis are going to visit Russia as tourists, as business people, as guests. So I don't see any trouble in that. Of course, some procedures maybe can be made more softened, but now if you ask people, they do not face troubles in that. The percentage of non-issuing visas is so small that comparing with those who receive visas, that we shouldn't take seriously, speak seriously that we do not give visas to someone.
Visa policy is very tough or not?
It is not very tough. Of course, for Pakistanis, for some countries it is very tough. You know, but this is always on the basis of reciprocity. But what I say, of course it can be more softened, but it is not difficult. And more people visiting Russia is a good sample that it is okay. It is not very tough.
That's right. That's great, and lovely to talk to you, Mr. Andrei Fedorov. Thank you for giving me your precious time.
Thank you.
It's been an honor for me to have
Thank you.
नाज़रीन, मिस्टर एंड्रे फेडरोव साहब हमारे साथ इस वक्त मौजूद थे और उन्होंने बहुत दिलचस्प गुफ्तगू की, अपने बारे में बताया। उन्होंने कितने साल पाकिस्तान में सर्व किया, 8 साल से पाकिस्तान में सर्व जो है वो कर रहे हैं और अभी भी पाकिस्तान में उन्होंने अपॉइंटेड जो है वो उन्होंने करवाई है अपनी, और वो चाहते हैं कि कराची में रहें। कराची में खाना बहुत अच्छा लगता है, स्ट्रीट्स बहुत अच्छी लगती हैं, मॉस्क उनको बहुत पसंद है। उन्होंने अपने बारे में बताया और डिप्लोमेसी के हवाले से उनका ये कहना है कि खास तौर पे जो लोगों को खदशात हैं कि बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट पॉलिसीज हैं वीज़ा लेने के लिए रशिया का, उसके हवाले से भी उनका ये दो टोक पैगाम था कि पाकिस्तानियों के लिए, खास तौर पे कराची वालों के लिए हमने बहुत अच्छी और बहुत इजी जो है वो वीज़ा पॉलिसीज रखी हैं, और ताकि वो रशिया जाके पाकिस्तानी रशिया जो है वो विजिट कर सकें और इवन वो बिजनेस भी अपने जो है वो रशिया में कर सकते हैं। पाकिस्तान और रशिया के ताल्लुकात उसमें मजीद फरोग आएगा, और बिजनेस पर्पस के लिहाज से भी उनका ये कहना है कि बिजनेस को फरोग दिया जाएगा। दोनों के माबैन बहुत अच्छी चीज़ों का सिलसिला जो है वो जारी है, बिजनेस से रिलेटेड चीज़ों का सिलसिला जो है वो बहुत अच्छे अंदाज से जारी है। साउथ एशिया पे जो है वो रशिया का इस वक्त फोकस भी है। अमेरिका से भी बहुत अच्छे जो है वो ताल्लुकात बहाल हो रहे हैं। दुनिया में एक तरीके से अमन इंशाअल्लाह ताला कोशा है कि आएगा और पूरे दुनिया की इकोनॉमी जो है वो बेहतर हो सकेगी। इसी के साथ जो मिस्टर एंड्रे फेडरोव साहब हैं, उन्होंने तमाम सवालात का जवाब बहुत अच्छे अंदाज से दिया, साफ गोई से दिया, और हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि इसी तरीके से जो सफारती ताल्लुकात हैं वो बेहतर रहें और ये सिलसिला इसी तरीके से पाकिस्तान और रशिया का जो ताल्लुकाती सफारती ताल्लुकात है वो अच्छे अंदाज से जो है वो चलता रहे। अपने मेज़बान शाहरुख शाह को टीम के हमरा इजाज़त दीजिए। अपना और पाकिस्तान का बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफिज़। पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद, रशिया जिंदाबाद।